Can you hear me? Yay! Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Gainesville. I am Sue Boone, Worship Associate for today. This morning on my way over, I live 29 miles away, I was listening to some 1950 music. I have some CDs back from then. One of the songs that came on was One-Eyed, One-Horned, Flying Purple People Eater. And that reminded me of the song, ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, well, bing bang, ooh-ee, okay, which is the Witch Doctor, titled Witch Doctor. And we think young people's music is crazy today. I want to welcome all of you on Zoom, those at our sibling church in Valdosta, and those of you from afar. Thank you for choosing to worship with us today. And to those of you here in the sanctuary, I am glad we are together in community. I am a cisgendered tall woman of European descent. I am 80 years old. My pronouns are she and her. My short hair is turning white around my face, and I am wearing turquoise top, black pants, black shoes, standard uniform. We are privileged to be on this lovely property, which was once the home of the Timucua and Seminole tribes. If you are a visitor today, please feel free to stop by our welcome table with the green tablecloth in the Phillips Social Hall during your coffee hour. It'll be on the right when you go in. Our welcome team would like to get to know you and would love to tell you more about Unitarian Universalism and our congregation. Today this is Share the Plate Sunday, and we are sharing our gifts with the Family Promise of Gainesville. Rachel Ryan will tell us all about the organization. Rachel?
Good morning, everyone. Bear with me. My voice is a little cracky. First, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be here with you this morning. My name is Rachel Ryan, and I serve as the Executive Director of Family Promise of Gainesville. It truly means so much to have the support of churches and community members who deeply care about the families in our communities. At Family Promise, our mission is simple but powerful. We help families with children who are experiencing homelessness or housing instability find safety, stability, and hope. We walk alongside families during some of the hardest moments of their lives and help them move forward toward long-term stability. Our programs include emergency shelter, rapid rehousing, homeless prevention, permanent supportive housing, stabilization assistance, essential housing support. Sometimes that looks like helping a family avoid eviction with rental assistance. Sometimes it means helping a mom and her children move out of their car and into safe shelter. Sometimes it means helping a parent find employment, childcare, transportation, or simply giving them the support they need to breathe again and move forward. Last year alone, Family Promise helped 155 families and 475 individuals right here in our community. Behind every one of those numbers is a real story. A child who got to stay in their school, a parent who was able to return to work, a family who found stability after feeling like they had nowhere left to turn. But the need in our community is growing rapidly. With the closures of St. Francis House and Arbor House, Family Promise is now the only organization in our area specifically serving families with children experiencing homelessness. That reality is heartbreaking and overwhelming at times because we know how many families need help. Since January alone, we have had I put 400 on this paper, but I checked it last night, and it was 525 families that have joined our wait list seeking assistance. These are not just statistics, These are parents working full-time but unable to afford rent, families living double up in unsafe situations, mothers trying to protect their children while figuring out where they will sleep next week. The truth is, homelessness does not always look the way that people think it does. Many of the families we serve are hardworking families who simply experienced one crisis, a medical emergency, job loss, rising rent, domestic violence, or an unexpected hardship, and suddenly found themselves without stability. That is why community support matters so much. Churches like yours matter so much. Every prayer, every volunteer, every donation, every act of kindness helps us continue this work and reminds families that they are not alone. For me, this work is deeply personal. Years ago, I was once a participant myself. I know what it feels like to struggle. I know what it feels like to need help and wonder if things will ever get better. And I also know the power of someone believing in you during your hardest moments. That is why I do this work with my whole heart, because I have lived it. I have seen firsthand how one helping hand, one safe place, and one community willing to care can completely change the direction of someone's life. Today, I stand before you not just as an executive director, but as someone who understands how life-changing this mission truly is. Thank you for believing in the families. Thank you for supporting organizations like Family Promise. And thank you for helping us continue to bring hope, stability, and dignity to families who need it the most. God bless you all.
Thank you, Rachel. And she shared with me before the service that this church used to house the folks from Family Promise, because we had a bathroom, I know. That's why they came here. I don't know anything about the program, but it happened like in the 2018, 1920. Oh, right before COVID. So, thank you. Rachel has a table set up in the social hall. It's to the right as you go into the social hall. Let us now enter into an attitude of reverence as we begin our service this morning. Harry, will you please come forward to light the chalice? Harry is the prior membership chairperson before Judith. Our chalice lighting words for this morning were written by Brian C. Lee. We light our chalice as a symbol of the light within us and the life that flows through the world around us. It is our beacon as we search for truth. It is the warmth in our hearts for love. And it is the energy that propels us to action. May we be kindled by our time together. Thank you. Our opening words were inspired by the poem, "You Deserve a Love," by Estefania Mitri. It's often misattributed to Frida Kahlo, so you might have heard it through her works. We gather today for the ones who arrived disheveled, carrying questions, contradictions, grief half-healed, and dreams still raw. You deserve a place that welcomes your becoming, that knows your fire is not too much, your silence not too little. A place that sees your shadows and still reaches for your light. You deserve a community that listens when you speak your truth, that sits with you in turmoil and rises with you in joy. A community that believes in your voice, even when it trembles. You deserve a circle that brings you hope and coffee and poetry. A place to rest, a place to rise. This place is not perfect, but possible, not without cracks, but full of light. Come, let us worship together. Our opening hymn this morning is We Laugh, We Cry. This is my most favorite hymn in the entire hymnal. I ask that as you sing the words, don't just sing them, hear them, listen to them. I feel these words exemplify Unitarian Universalism, and I can rarely get through singing the hymn without crying. Please rise in body or spirit to sing together hymn number 354 in the gray hymnal and on the screen. seated. Thank you for letting us sing my song. Each week we are invited to write what is in our hearts, the joys and sorrows, in the book by the door of the sanctuary. Usually our first joy guests, but we don't have any today. But there were joys and sorrows written in the book. Several times, Sheila Bishop writes, several times this past week while on walks in nature, my heart is cracked open in the face of this world of wonder and awe, of woe. Oh, wonder and woe. Oh, I was I was putting a good light on it. Wonder and woe. Okay. Kay Anderson, she's back there. I'm excited to be getting a new right knee on Thursday. Please send love, light, and joy. We shall. And Star writes, y'all are pretty awesome. For those of you who cannot yet share your joys and concerns, please come forward to drop a stone into our communal water bowl. As the stones pass through the water, may you feel the warmth of our community. May you feel the warmth of our community surround and support you. At the end, Marilyn will place 2 stones in the bowl for the joys and sorrows for our folks in our Zoom community. Please come forward. There were two joys that I missed in our book. One of them was from Aaron Parrish. Several youth advisors joined the junior high youth group on a trip to Wild Adventures theme park yesterday. It was a fun day of getting wet in the lazy river, riding rides, and bonding. Peggy Maloney writes, every Sunday we are blessed with a beautiful piano playing by Tanae. It is such a joy. Thank you. Okay. Time for all ages.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to invite our kids to come forward, and today I'm going to keep it a little bit short because in my experience, services with new members can sometimes go on a little bit long. And I thought about all of the cool things. If you don't know me, I am the director of Lifespan Faith Development here. And so when I saw deeds, not creeds, and what it means to be UU, I had like probably 30 minutes planned originally. And I had to dial it back a little bit. And so you're going to be hearing some faith formation stuff over the upcoming weeks because it's one of my things that I love to do. But when I thought about what it means to be UU, especially in this congregation, I thought about the first time I walked through the doors. And I was welcomed so warmly. And that there is something true that happens every week where people are just welcome here. And people say hello, and we're glad to see you, however you are, however you exist today. And so today, we're going to sing a song that our kids know really well because I sing it to them nearly every week. Do you guys know this song? Do you know this one, Zach? They said no. They're not telling the truth. They do know this song. This song is very simple, and I would love if you want to sing along. There's no lyrics on the screen, but I believe in you. It goes, hello, everybody. I'm so glad to see you. And then we're going to sing hello to the children. We're so glad to see you. Hello to our grown-ups. We're so glad to see you. And then we're going to sing specifically hello to our new members. We're so glad to see you. And we're going to sing hello to our choir. We're so glad to see you. And we're going to sing hello, people online. We're so glad to see you. And that's all. And then we're going to be done. So we're going to go through that one more time. We're going to sing hello to our children. Hello to our grown-ups. Hello to our new members. Hello to our choir. Hello, people online. And then I'm going to say hello, I'm Teacher James. And that's how you know that we're wrapping up. Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody. We're so glad to see you. Hello, everybody. We're so glad to see you. Hello to our children. We're so glad to see you. Hello to our grown-ups. We're so glad to see you. Hello to our choir. We're so glad to see you. Hello to our new members. We're so glad to see you. Hello to people online. We're so glad to see you. Hello, everybody. We're so glad to see you. Hello, I'm Teacher James. I'm so glad to see you. Hello, everybody. We're so glad to see you. Hello, everybody. We're so glad to see you. Hello, everybody. We're so glad to see you. And that's it. Now we're...
I'm Judith Kendall, and I facilitate the Path to Membership for the congregation's membership committee. And since I'm going to be up here a little bit later talking to you again, I'll do the explanation now. I have a blocked off lens in my glasses because I have double vision, and that's the only way I can see my notes. If I take that off, I see two of all of you, which is not bad. It would mean a big attendance this morning, but I wouldn't be able to read my notes. So I apologize for the distraction. I know it looks very distracted to look at somebody and you can only see one of their eyes, but that's where I am this morning. People join our congregation because of the welcome they receive here, from our outside greeters, from our foyer table welcome staff, our social hall visitor information table staff, and from all of you, members of the congregation, who talk to visitors in the social hall during coffee hour, and also invite new people to participate in your activities and become involved. The new members we are introducing today don't feel like new members because they have already become involved in our congregation. This morning we are introducing 3 new members. 3 other new members are away today and will be introduced in the fall. And Diane Aiken, whose information is on your handout, was not able to come today. After the new members are introduced, they will complete the final step of membership, that of signing the membership book, which is on the table there. Then they will receive an aloe plant from Noel Silk, symbolizing their life, growth, and connectedness to this congregation. Noel received an aloe plant when she first joined the congregation, and she has propagated new plants from the original plant and given them to new members ever since. Quite a living tradition. So now will the new members and their mentors come forward and stand over here? And if we can have the traveling mic. The mentors will now introduce their new members.
Good morning. My name is Heather Arata. I am a member of this congregation, and it is my pleasure today to introduce Sarah G. Sarah actually found us after should I call it stalking? After seeing our SoCups announcements on Facebook for almost a year, before she and her family decided to come for a Samhain service. I also met Sarah at one of our Sacred Oak Cups kind of more informal group meetings, and was just so taken with her and her family. She comes with her husband James, who is a veteran. There he is right there. And her adorable son, Zach, who you may have seen running back and forth and being just a joy. He loves Spider-Man, as you can plainly see from his head to toe Spider-Man. So if you see him later, shirt, shorts, watch, shoes, socks, Spider-Man. So he also loves science, and just like his hero, Peter Parker, who is Spider-Man for the uninitiated. And we are so happy to have her here as a member of the Sacred Oak Cups myself. I can't tell you how her energy and her light has just done wonderful things for our group, and her organization skills have come in very handy, because I don't know if any of you know pagans personally. We're hard to get together. Herding cats, yeah, and most of us like cats, so it's fine. We are so happy to have her here, and it is my joy to present her for membership today.
anything about it. Okay, step down, get back off the floor. Take it over to her.
Test.
Now, if I touch it, watch. Anyway, does that work? Hey, how about that? Okay, I'm a pretty new member myself, and I'm really happy to be here. But today, I am introducing Lilu Hargraves, and we met outside one day, and she complimented me on my thrift store dress, and we got into this great conversation, and we're so engaged with our ideas. It was really fabulous. And so I just want to introduce her as this young lady with amazing energy. She has a busy mind. She cares about a lot of things. She's full of compassion. She looks at a person and thinks about many aspects of this person. Philosophical, their physical body, their history, their psychology. All of this stuff matters to her and gives her a deep fullness of appreciation for other people. And she's really a bright star. We're really, really happy to have her. Yeah. Okay, how's that? Okay. A huge creative streak runs through Lilu. She expresses herself through her clothing, fashion. She loves interior design and cooking. At some point, we're going to get together and bake bread, which will be lots of fun. And we can make frogs or different shapes or whatever. And that just tickles my fancy. She lives optimistically, believing in the importance of a good support system in a relationship. She wants individuals to understand that they're not alone. Humans are social creatures, and she wants to bring people help, understanding, and grace. This is pretty good for somebody who's 25, don't you think? She's an active member in CUPS, and they happily welcome her skills as a copy editor and a person with creative ideas and lots of energy. She sees UUFG as a group who helps and relies on one another. She brings optimism to our congregation and is seeking a sense of genuine community. Lilu, we're so happy to have you become a part of our congregation.
Well, good morning. My name's Joy Avery, and I want to introduce you to Anna Langford. She met her husband, her future husband, Gerald, and his 2 kids while they were teaching science in Clearwater. They relocated here 44 years ago to be closer to Gerald's family. They raised rabbits and chickens on 5 acres outside of the town of Alachua. We connect. I grew up on a farm. So their whole family enjoyed outdoor nature activities, including canoe camping. I'd never heard of that. So you'll have to talk to her for more information. They traveled along the Suwannee River and St. Mary's River, along the Florida-Georgia border, and many other scenic waterways in Florida. Anna worked at Santa Fe Community College, now known as Santa Fe College, in the growing field of health-related sciences for 24 years. Since retirement, Anna has had time to explore her many interests. She's an avid reader, plays weekly mahjong, leads her exercise group, volunteers at Friends of the Library, which is where we met, and she tutors in the library literacy program, and is also a member of the Gainesville Camellia Society. And did I mention she has 100 camellias on her property? We could take lessons. We only have half of that in our backyard, in our memory garden. One reason Anna joined UUFG is because of our actions for social justice. Anna wants to do some good trouble. So we heartily welcome Anna Langford. Thank you.
Noel, will you distribute the aloes, everybody? If the new members and their mentors will remain standing for a few minutes.
Well, welcome to UUFG, new members. I'm the president of the governing board, elected by the congregation last year, and I'd like to welcome you and offer this affirmation, which is one of our anchors of the fellowship. It's a blessing that you were born. It matters what you do. Your experience of the divine is true, and you don't have to go it alone. By becoming a member of the congregation, you signify your willingness to support this fellowship as you are able with your time, talent, money, heart, and wisdom. May the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Gainesville be for you what it has been for me, a source of inspiration, nurture, and challenge. As president of the congregation, I formally welcome you as members of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Gainesville.
It is my joy to welcome you into the living tradition of free religion. On behalf of this gathered congregation, I ask you now to bear witness to your decision. New members? I invite members of UUFG to rise in body or spirit and join in greeting our new members. We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Gainesville, welcome you as partners in our ongoing intention to be a community of justice and love. We offer you friendship and support as together we covenant to live by the principles of our free faith. Thank you. You may be seated.
It is my hope that on this new member recognition Sunday, we think about the importance of Unitarian Universalism and this congregation is in our life. It was also important to the people who built this church building. Who was around when they built it or funded this church? Anybody? Oh my gosh, a bunch. Thank you for all that you work. I know that's a tremendous job, is building a church building. Let us continue their vision by contributing to the vision and work of this church. Will the ushers please come forward? Thank you. Our message today is being presented by our own Judith Kendall. She's wearing many hats today. Her message is titled, Deeds, Not Creeds. What do Unitarian Universalists believe? Judith.
When I was a freshman in college, I took a speech class, public speaking. I was this shy little 18-year-old, and the speech professor lambasted me in front of the class because he could not hear me in the back of the classroom. I was such a soft voice. I've gotten a lot louder since then. But please tell me if you can't hear me. I can't see real well, but just wave or something. So I joined this congregation 51 years ago. Yes, I really am that old. When I joined this congregation 51 years ago, there was no path to membership. As I recall, someone came up to me after I had been attending for a few months and said, "You want to join? Here, sign the book." They flipped out the membership book, and I signed it, and that was that. There was no information about Unitarian Universalism or about our congregation. No one told me what, if anything, was expected of members. And there was no mention of financial support for the congregation, interestingly. Some of you longer-time members may have had similar experiences when you joined. But times have changed. A few years ago, when I took over this role for our congregation, I developed a class of what I would have liked to have been told 51 years ago. This morning, I'm going to share just a bit of that with you. What is religion all about, and what do Unitarian Universalists believe? When I tell people I'm Unitarian Universalist, they often get a puzzled look on their face. Sometimes they confuse us with United Church of Gainesville, or Unity, or the Unification Church, also known as the Moonies. Inevitably, they will ask, what do Unitarian Universalists believe anyway? There's not a simple answer, and my answer has evolved over the years. I may explain that Unitarian came from our rejection of the Trinity, one God, meaning Jesus was not divine. Universalist came from the rejection of the concept of hell, universal salvation. And the two emerged in 1961 to form the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations. Next slide. These days, I am apt to say, we believe that how you live your life is more important than what you believe. The shorthand version is deeds, not creeds. No, actually, go back to the deeds, not creeds slide. Sorry about that. Of course, that leads to the question of what are creeds and why don't we have one? A creed is simply a statement of beliefs. Those of us who grew up in a Catholic or Protestant denomination may remember reciting the Apostles' Creed every Sunday morning in church. I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only begotten Son, etc., etc. I can still say it. A longer creed is the Nicene Creed, which I also remember reciting, but only on special occasions, and I never quite got it memorized. Well, why don't we have a creed? It would be a lot easier to explain Unitarian Universalism if we did. But we believe that everyone should engage in a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, their own individual truth and meaning. However, free and responsible search for truth and meaning does not mean you can believe anything you want, as I have heard some people say. Responsible and search are the key words here. I like the way John Burens phrases it in the book he wrote with Forest Church, A Chosen Faith, An Introduction to Unitarian Universalism. He writes, ours is a non-creedal church, not because we have no beliefs, but because we will not be restrained in our beliefs. Wallace Robbins, UU educator and minister, put it this way: freedom of belief doesn't mean anything goes. It calls us to be accountable for what we believe and how those beliefs shape our lives. For some people, free and responsible search will result in a belief in a deity or deities, and for some, it won't. Wait a minute, you might be asking. How can this be a religion and not believe in a deity or God? Because religion is a much bigger concept than a belief in God or an afterlife. When I met my husband, Bob, I had left the Lutheran faith in which I was raised, and I was not interested in religion. One day, Bob, who had a seminary degree and had been a minister, Protestant minister for 20 years, told me that I was a very religious person. That almost ended our relationship. But then he told me his definition of religion: ultimate concern. Oh, I thought, ultimate concern? I can live with that. And a year later, I married him. For some people, ultimate concern might be God. For others, creating a more just society or planet stewardship. Often in the newcomer orientation class, someone will say, "I'm not a very religious person." And I will tell them that I think they are wrong, that I think they are very religious because I think they have ultimate concern. And I think the same thing is true for all of you, even those of you who identify as atheist, because religion is a much broader concept than a belief in God. So if we don't have a creed, what do we have? Well, we have values. No, we can't get that slide, okay. We have values: interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice, centered around love. And we also have the 7 principles, which are as follows. We, the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association, covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. See where I got that? The right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, and respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Notice that none of these say anything about a belief in God or an afterlife. They are not creeds. Also, instead of a creed, we have a covenant. It outlines how we relate to and support one another, make decisions, support and nurture our children, and support our congregation. When you join our congregation, you do not have to espouse a creed, but you do sign an agreement to abide by our covenant. Two weeks ago, the service focused on our covenant and was followed by a town hall meeting to discuss whether our covenant was meeting our current needs or should be updated. But whatever changes we may make, we will still have a covenant because we are a covenantal, not a creedal congregation, creedal religion. In the newcomer orientation class, I also talk about the history of Unitarian Universalism and our congregation, how our congregation works, ways to get involved in our congregation before becoming a member, and the meaning and responsibilities of membership. You do not have to be a member to come to Sunday services, participate in coffee hour, help maintain the building and grounds on Sparkle Saturday, serve on a committee, sing in the choir, participate in any of the book groups or the men's lunch, play pickleball, or a host of other things. If participation is available without membership, why would anybody want to become a member? Because if you are a member, this is your congregation. You are one of the owners. With membership comes voting privileges. Members make all the decisions about the congregation. They vote on our budget and our social justice priorities, elect our leaders, vote to call a minister, and serve as delegates to our denomination's annual meeting. Members may receive pastoral care and use our facilities for the rites of passage. Membership is required to serve in a leadership position in the congregation, handle money, or serve as a worship associate. Members receive a free subscription to the UU World, our denominational magazine, and are listed in and receive the UUFG membership directory. And they get a permanent name tag. If that's what you get, what do you have to do? What are your responsibilities as members? Unlike when I joined, now we tell members they do have responsibilities. We have 4 expectations of members that we call the 4 Ps: presence, participation, pledge, and practice. Presence means we expect you to attend Sunday services when you can and participate in other events of your choosing. In other words, show up. Participation means doing something in addition to Sunday services. This might be something you do for your own benefit or spiritual enhancement, and it might be something you do to help in some way with our congregation, which is entirely lay-led. Pledge means that you support the congregation financially, according to your means. We have a $340,000 operating budget supported by members. Not only is it important for the congregation, but it gives you buy-in. This is a member-owned congregation, remember. The final expectation is practice. We ask that members practice their faith as they live their lives. Remember, deeds, not creeds. So there you have it, some of what I wish someone had told me when I first came to this congregation. But somehow, over the years, I figured it out, and 51 years later, I am still here. I have served in the congregation in many roles, made friends, had lots of experiences here. I raised my son in this congregation, and yes, he did at age 3 climb on the roof of our previous sanctuary. I will be glad to tell you that story sometime. He also sang "Consider Yourself" in one of our services at about age 7. He was a voice student of our own Mary Margaret Andrew. And that is why I requested that song this morning. Things do come full circle. I am in a women's support group that has been active more than 40 years, members of this congregation. My husband's memorial service was here, and his name is on the stone in the memory garden, as mine will be one day. I can't imagine being anywhere else. New members and not so new members, I hope that you have a similar experience to mine in this congregation. Just remember that the gifts you receive will be in direct proportion to your commitment of time, talent, and treasure. May they be abundant. And now, please rise in body or spirit and get all fired up to sing my favorite hymn, "The Fire of Commitment."
Thank you, Judith. She needs to add to her list of benefits of being a participant. If you're a speaker or worship associate, you get to choose your most favorite hymn in the hymnal. Thank you. We extinguish this together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our closing words are by Robin Gray. As we prepare to depart, we give voice to these hopes. May we know ourselves to be bound in community, even while we are apart. May a passion for justice burn in our lives. May we carry the light of compassion in our hearts and in our every interaction. May we be whole in our devotion to truth and always carry the lamp of peace before us. The service is over, but our community continues. Coffee and conversation is in the hall. New members, are y'all gonna be out in the room? Okay. And we also have the table for our family promise. Okay. You can also enjoy the postlude sung by the choir. Thank you all.